Today I'm just going to go over the basics of using the Windows client. I'll also cover accessing from a Android phone so that people can understand how easy it is to get access to their files and collaborate and share files using typical methods. The first method is accessing using the web portal. I'm going to sign in using web portal, sign in as user 1. Now when you first sign in, you see any documents that have been attached or shared with you. Each user will have a unique set of folders depending on their permissions to various folders that are shared from the servers. And then each user has their own documents and pictures folder. So you can see what this looks like when accessed from a Windows client. I'm going to show you first of all what you have to do to install the Windows client. So when you're logged in with the credentials that were given to you by your tenant administrator, you'll see this download link here. If you click that, it takes you to this page where you get to download the native clients. We're just going to jump over to the desktop client and we'll choose the version of the operating system we're currently using, and we hit go. This downloads a MSI installer that is connected to this particular tenant. If you show this in the folder, you'll see the client here. Double click that and it will begin the installation process. Now I've already installed the Windows client on this machine, so I'm going to show you what accessing your folders looks like from there. So let's go back to the file browser. As I mentioned before, this is what it looks like when you log in. Now let's run the client. So the cloud icon will appear in your notifications area. If you left click that, you'll see this interface here. If you click the folder, it will jump you to your cloud drive, where you can see that it mimics the web portal. Go ahead and set this to list view. You can see we've got the same structure. So if I go into my documents folder and I go into my documents folder, you see that they match. So this is a replica of what you're seeing in both locations. All they would need is their login credentials. Let me show you what that looks like. So if you go into this menu and I sign out user 1, what you will see as your login, and you'll put in your username, which is an email address, your password, and you'll need an access point. Mine is an IP address, yours will probably be a domain. You hit login. And just like that, you're reconnected to your cloud drive. Okay, so once you're in your cloud drive, there's some things you might want to do. For instance, if you have a folder that you're using on your computer and you would like to sync that to the cloud, you can add it this way. So we'll go to the C drive and we'll see that there's a folder in here called Attach This to Acme. This could be any folder. If I right click that, I see that one of my options are, and it shows a little icon there, is attach this folder to Acme Systems. So if I click that, it shows me the folder location and also gives me the opportunity to change the name of that folder. So we'll hit finish. Now let's jump over here to the cloud using the web portal, and I will go up one level. And you can see that right away, less than 1 minute ago, that folder is now connected to my web portal file browser. So if I go in there, I can see all those files. So that's how easy it is to attach a local file, migrate it to the cloud so that you can get access to it from anywhere. Okay, something else you might want to do from your Windows client is to share a file with someone who isn't a user in your server. In order to do that, you will navigate to the file you want to share. So here I have my documents, and I'm going to right-click this document and choose Share. Now I just have to put in some email addresses of people that I want to share this with, separated by a semicolon. So I will share it with there's two options. One is continue as it is now, which means that that user will receive an email invitation and will have read-only access inside of a web browser. Another alternative is to add that user as a guest user, and this gives you a little more flexibility. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll hit next. Now at this point, I can set an expiration time. I'm going to leave it at 7 days. I can give them read-only access or full control over the file so they could edit the document. I'm going to hit Finish. Once you've shared a file, you might want to see what things you have shared. Going to your file browser, and you can click this Show Hide panel, and you can go to Sharing and Collaboration, and this says that there's one shared item. If I hit Edit, I could see that share here. If I hit Edit again, I could see who I've shared that with. So I've got madeupuser@mailinator.com. Okay. Okay, so here's my user. Here's what they receive. They get a welcome to Acme, and that gives them the username and the password so they can log in. And it gives them a sign-in location. So if I click that, then I can use their information to log in. And now they need to create their own custom password that they can use to get back in. Now they're in, they can see my document, so they might want to download this, open it with Default Viewer, or go ahead and edit it. Now let's jump into the Android device and access it from there. Okay, so here I am at the Play Store, and I'm going to go ahead and search for GladioNet Cloud. Do the installation on my Android device. Okay, we'll open it. We need to give it permission to access our folders. And then I just type in my domain, or IP address in my case. Enter my credentials, and as you can see, it's that easy. I am now logged into my files using my Android device. And there I can see the same structure, the same files that I was looking for before. I can open the user1 document on my device. I can use its default viewer, or I can also open it in my Word app. Now I'm in the Essay Share folder, and what I'd like to do is open a document by someone else, someone named Alice, and so I'm going to use my Word app to open that file. And I'm going to allow it. Okay, so here I am looking at it in Word, but you'll notice it's read-only. That's because the Word application is respecting my permissions and credentials on this particular file. It belongs to Alice, and while I'm allowed to read it, I'm not allowed to edit it. So let's look at sharing. I'm going to go into the Building Projects folder here, and I'm going to look at this Excel file, and what I want to do is long press it, and that'll bring up a menu, and then I can hit Share. And all I have to do now is the same thing I would do on the web portal or on my desktop in my Windows client, is just type in my email address for any user I want to share it with. And I could do multiple users by separating it with a semicolon. Maybe add a note for the user. And then I hit this continue, and then I can see that I can do the same thing I can do on my Windows client. I can alter the expiration time and give them either full access or read-only access. Okay, so that's all done. Now what if I want to revoke a share? What if I no longer want that user to have access to the file? Then I can navigate to that file, click the file. Now I can go to my 3-button menu there, and I can choose the share manager. And then in there I just have to hit that X and I can cancel the sharing. So now I've revoked access. That user can no longer access the file. And I've done this from my Android device. Now just to verify this, I will go over to the web portal. I'll navigate to that file, go to my sharing, choose my sharing manager, and you can see that that share is no longer there. So it has been removed. I hope you enjoy using the client and all the other ways of accessing your files. Check out our other tutorials if you need more assistance. Thank you.